All right, excellent. All right, so without further ado, if you'd like to start music, go for it, or any playlist that you like. And we're gonna just take a moment to center ourselves on our mats. As I drink tea through a straw, very fancy. All right, so you're gonna find yourself in a comfortable seat. Today I'm gonna sit on a pillow and be on my knees. And here we're just gonna find a couple moments of peace before we start our flow. If you'd like to bring your gaze down towards the floor, or maybe you can begin to flutter those eyes shut. And with each breath, begin to turn a little more inward, noticing without your sense of sight, what do you notice? Are other senses a little more enhanced? Can you really hear that breath on every inhale and slow exhale? Maybe you're already feeling sensations that you didn't notice before, little flutters in your belly, or maybe some tenseness in your shoulders. And just bring your awareness to those parts. If you'd like to bring a little movement to any area that seems tense, go for that. And together we're going to take an inhale through our nose. So just empty out any breath you have, and then on 3, 2, 1, we'll take a breath together. 3, 2, 1, inhale. Hold for a moment at the top. And as slowly as you can, release through your lips. When you get to the bottom of that breath, we're going to repeat. Inhale through your nose. Fill up your lungs. And hold at the top. And slowly, through a little space in your lips, exhale. Take yourself through several more cycles of that deliberate breath. Pausing at the top just to take stock of that breath before I almost think of coming down off a hill, before kind of running down with that exhale. Let that inhale inflate you not only up and down, but out through the sides of your body. Sink lower into the floor on your exhale. Start becoming aware of your body. What temperature are your fingers? How is your mood in this moment? What are your thoughts returning to again and again? Maybe if you're having some fast-paced thinking. Now let's just take a moment to realize those glimmers of our awareness. And how do we know what the temperature of our fingers are? How do we know what we're feeling? And how do we know what our thoughts are like? It's this sense of awareness that we're trying to expand today. It's just this sense of self, this sense of knowing yourself, or maybe not knowing yourself and trying to figure it out. And this sense of awareness that lives in you, that gives you feedback of who you are, how you're doing in any moment. Sometimes it gets activated and sometimes overactivated, and we get a lot of information from that sense of awareness that can make us anxious or excited or nervous or very productive. And today we're going to try to hone in on that sense of awareness, make it very compact, almost envision it living inside of us, And then try to broaden it outside of the space around us. One final inhale in this moment. Exhale, release any props. You can flicker your eyes open, and we're going to get into our asana, our body movement practice. And that combines with our pranayama, our breath work. And like we've been saying, the breath breathes you. So there's no forcing involved, and there is no motion, no life, no dynamic interaction with your body without that life force that sustains you. You can only hold your breath for so long, right? All right, now without further ado, please gently find your way onto hands and knees. If you have any pillows or blocks, just have them handy. We're gonna go through a couple rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, press your fingers through the floor. And exhale, let that breath release over your spine as you round down, nose, your gaze comes between your legs. Inhale, reverse, belly drops, tailbone comes up, gaze lifts. And exhale, reverse the position, pushing against the floor. Knuckles always flat, flat, flat. And just notice your breathing on this. Has your breathing, can you notice the sound more? Do you feel that you have to bring more energy into just having a breath, just from this subtle movement? And begin to experiment with letting the breath dictate where the body goes. So exhaling a split second before your spine follows that breath out of your mouth. And then your inhale signals to the body to unwind and stretch, stretching the skin in your front body. And one more exhale, wherever you are, we're gonna find our way back into our neutral spine. Excellent. Here, if you'd like to do a couple little circles to stretch out the fronts of the wrists, just do several, perhaps 3 or 4 in either direction. Just to get everything warm. We're gonna spend some time in our downward dogs today, so we wanna really wake up the area around our hands and our wrists. If you haven't already started going in the other direction, bring a couple of circles that way. Good. Very nice. And then we're going to come back to our neutral tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit of a variation on what we did last week with our pillows, our little like Pilates practice, with a slight modification. So we're going to inhale, stretch that right foot back, toes pointed. Exhale, bring it back to hands and knees. We're going to go right into the right-left switching. So inhale, left, leg stretches out, stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, return. We're going to do that again, either side. Inhale, if any of you have cats, sometimes they like stretch one limb and it's bizarre, but I can see how it's very satisfying. And exhale, return. Inhale, left leg stretch, point those toes, try to square those hips so one glute isn't pointing up to the ceiling, and return it back to neutral. Inhale your right leg all the way up, trying to keep it in line with your spine as much as you can. Exhale, tuck it back down. Inhale, your left leg lifts off the ground, energize, energize, activate through the leg muscles, and bring it back down. This time, inhale your right leg up, left hand can reach, belly button pulling towards your spine. Exhale, release very gently back to the ground. Inhale, left leg lifts. When you're steady, your right arm can lift, reaching for something just ahead of you. Exhale, return. Take a breath in neutral. Very nice. Now we're going to inhale just as we did, right leg back, lift it in the air, hands stay grounded. Turn that foot so the top of your foot is really pointing towards the face of that foot, shining towards the floor, the heel pointing up to the ceiling. Continue to breathe. We're going to bend that knee. We're going to turn it sideways. So now your right foot is pointing towards the wall on the left side. We're gonna bring that right knee towards the right shoulder and press it back. We're gonna do 5 of these. So inhale, knee comes towards your shoulder or your elbow. Exhale, bring it back a little. Inhale, send it forward. This is number 3. Exhale, send it back. 2 more, you can do it. Inhale, compress. Exhale, send it back. Last one. Inhale, bring that knee as high as you can. Exhale, send it back. Turn that foot back to a squared hip, so your foot is pointing up. Flex the top foot, and 5 gentle pulses towards the ceiling. Inhale, and exhale, pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it down. Set your hips back. Reset. In our child's pose. Very nice. Just a little core wake up, you know, casual. And what this exercise is working all of the areas around your abdomen. So your abdominal muscles, many of you may already know, there's a lot of them. And they go all the way, they wrap all the way around your back. And so we're working on the obliques here, as well as the glutes, which really support a strong core, and our hamstrings, and lots of things. Inhale, come on back, hands and knees. We're going to repeat that on the left side. So we're going to inhale that left pointed foot. Again, try to square those hips down. Lift that leg. Take a pause here. And exhale. Inhale, bend that knee, that top leg. Turn it out so your foot is pointing towards your right side. And then inhale, draw that left knee towards your left shoulder. Exhale, release it back. Whew, I get a little cramp in my hip when I do it. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, draw that leg back. Inhale, knee towards elbow or shoulder. Exhale, bring it back. 2 more. You've already passed Wednesday if this were the days of the week. Inhale, in. Exhale, return. Last one. Get that knee as high as you can bring it. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, return. Turn that knee in. Flex that foot as if you're going to kick the ceiling above you because they're making too much noise. Inhale, get a good breath. Then exhale, 5 pulses up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set it down gently. You may open your knees or keep them parallel. Send your hips back. Child's pose. And this is a nice moment to become aware of ourselves again. What do we notice? What do we notice in our mood? What did that exercise bring up, if anything? What do we notice in our bodies? Excellent. On your next inhale, carefully coming back to hands and knees, squaring everything off. I'm going to move these pillows for once and for all. Good. Bring your hands about 1 palm print in front. Tuck your toes and ever so gently begin to lift to our downward dog, leading with those hips. Once you get there, you can walk out the dog. 1 knee bends slowly, and then the other. You can bend 1 elbow a little, just wiggle it out. Inhale to settle. Exhale, release your air. 2 more. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your lips. Last one. Inhale fully. And side out. Excellent. We're going to begin to walk our feet towards our hands into our first downward dog of practice. Be gentle with your knees. Let them bend as your body gets used to the stretch. Grab opposite elbows if you'd like, and just rock back and forth. You can nod your head yes and shake it no to make sure that your neck is fully relaxed. Excellent. Release those fingertips. Bend your knees. Inhale, reaching those arms out past your sides. Energize out, out, out as the energy goes up, up, up. Palms come together. They come past your third eye, down towards your heart. Just take a pause here. I'll face you. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And let's just take an alignment check here. Our hands are right at our midline, really signaling to our body the space that separates the halves of our bodies. Now, our bodies are naturally S-shaped. Our spine has many different curves in it. In order to increase our balancing capacity, we want to bring everything towards the center as possible. So if your tailbone curves out, just pulling it in helps to balance us. Sending those shoulders down and back so they're more in line with our spine. All of that can help with our balancing. Of course, when we're just walking around, tucking your tailbone isn't really helpful for us. But all of these things help bring our bodies closer in and creating a real center of gravity, a real center to our bodies. So let's take a moment and let's think of really pressing our hands together, emphasizing that midline, drawing the shoulders down and back, the chin dipped ever so slightly, and the tailbone tucked ever so slightly, activating the glutes. And really feel that compression inwards. Take a deep breath here. And release. Wonderful. Release your hands, bend your knees, reach your arms up so we can flow. Palms come together, leading with your heart, sending that energy tumbling forward, forward fold. Hands to shins or thighs, halfway lift, lengthen through that spine. Exhale, release it down to the floor. Plant those hands on the ground, step one leg back and then the other. High plank, always can drop to your knees for a low plank. Belly button's pulling up as your hips drop down. Excellent. Inhale. Exhale, drop your right knee just to hover above the ground. Inhale, lift that knee. Exhale, drop your left knee just before the ground. If you're on your knees, just hold a strong core, or a strong core in your inverted, your modified plank. And continue on every exhale to drop one leg. Inhale, come up. Exhale, drop your other leg. You're gonna do one more each side. You can do it, you can do it. Drop one knee. Come up, inhale. Other knee. Inhale, lean forward, drop your knees, leading with your chest, fall flat to the floor. Untuck those toes, press up into a cobra, elbows tucked, really stretch the skin in that front body. And exhale, release back to the floor. Inhale, tuck those toes, move through a tabletop or a plank, roll back up into our downward facing dog. Excellent. Inhale here. Sigh it out. Inhale here. And sigh it out. Very nice. At any point, if this is too much for you, at this time of day, we're tight, whatever you're going through, child's pose is a nice option, or just sitting and meditating is a nice option. You're gonna inhale, lifting that right knee up. Exhale, sending that right knee to the right elbow, the slight lunge forward. Inhale, right leg comes back up. Exhale, sending that right knee to the left elbow, pushing up like you're doing a cat pose. Inhale, send that leg back. Exhale, send it towards your nose, and we're gonna keep going up, 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 and do your best to step it in between. High lunge, or drop your knee for low lunge. Excellent. Wonderful. So whatever lunge you're in, we're gonna use our thigh as a little support. Get standing tall. Take a breath. If you'd like to stay here or here, go right ahead. This is a nice stretch in our hips, nice tall spine. If you'd like to go a little further, you can send those palms up, up, up. Palms can meet and come down into prayer. Take a deep breath. And exhale, twisting towards that right leg, hooking your left elbow to get a nice little twist. Press those hands together so your palms are more in that midline rather than at one shoulder. If you'd like to open your palms, light up the sky, I offer that to you. Excellent. Take a breath in whatever position you find yourself. And hands can come back together if they were open. You can untwist. And here, we're going to ground through that back leg. So the back foot is down on a diagonal forward. We're going to windmill those arms up and land in our warrior two. So I'm going to pivot this way so you get more of a frontal view. And here, let's just do an alignment check. Hands can come to your hips. You want to be able to see your second toe. The inclination is our knee's going to want to go forward. So let's just gently send it back. We don't want the knee to go over our ankle. I know I say that a lot, but it's like just natural to want to do that. So if you need to walk your toes a little bit forward to really, or back, to really keep it nice and perpendicular with the ground. Energize through the back of that extended left leg. Pinky toe is grounded. Toes are either on a slight diagonal or pointed straight out, just wherever you find more comfort. Let's take a moment to ground through our warrior two. You can begin to open your arms to really get the full emphasis. I love the names warrior two. I kind of wonder if I were a warrior, which we all are, like what would I be doing in this position? You know, what am I holding? What am I preparing for? Everybody send your body right to that midline. You may notice you're leaning forward. Send it right to the midline, gaze over that middle finger through the front. Let's just get strong here. Warrior two. And release. Inhale, energize. Exhale, your back hand can fall behind on your leg gently or support your lower back as you reach back and you're stretching the side, right side of your body. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, forearm comes to thigh, reaching that left arm up in a lovely diagonal from pinky toe all the way up side body to pinky finger. Wonderful, and come on up, warrior two. Sink a smidge lower and use that energy to rise up. Excellent, now let's just do toes to the front. Reach your arms out. If your camera is on, you can like just see your reflection. You do want your feet as wide as your wrists, and that's usually a little further than you think. Wonderful, toes facing the front. We're gonna turn our right toes to face the front. Our back toes remain the same. So right toes facing the front of your mat, back toes facing the front, the long edge of your mat. Reach your arms out nice and long. We're gonna send our hips back and come on forward. Lovely little triangle we're making here. Hands can hold onto your leg for support and energize you up. If you have a block, you can hold onto it here and reach up, or your fingers can gently rest on either side of your ankle. What we'd like to emphasize here is an opening through that heart. Where is your midline when your shape is not a straight line? You know, where is your center? Are you balancing on one foot more than the other? Where are you really grounded in this position? Take a deep breath. Excellent. Now we're going to move into our half moon. If this is in your practice, you can set up and go for it, play around for a few moments. To set everyone up who's not as familiar, let's just take a moment, come on back up. You're going to bend your right knee and rest your right hand on it. Left hand comes to your hip. And you're going to begin to, this is our first one leg balance of the day. So we're going to begin to walk our back leg up a little bit, still leaning, these cursed pillows, still leaning, energy's coming on our front leg because eventually we're going to lift our back leg up. If you'd like to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, you can bring your hand to the floor or a block and begin to transfer your weight into that front leg. Trying your best to keep your heart open, but it's okay if we round down. Your back leg is going to lift ever so slightly off the floor. For some people, this may look a little more like this. This is my least favorite yoga pose of all time, by the way. For others, and I'm kind of more comfortable here, it may look a little more like this. If your back foot's still on the ground, excellent. Start working on opening your heart. Keep a nice bend in that front leg wherever you are. Take a breath here for 3. Flex your left leg 2, 1. Bend that front knee, set your right leg down. Open your arms up, warrior two. You can walk your legs out a little bit to extend it. Take a deep breath. You did it, well done. Exhale, windmill those hands to frame your front foot. Turn your back leg in, so you're back in that lunge. Pressing through the floor, send your right leg back to meet your left. High plank. Let's take a moment here. Next inhale, gently shift forward. Tuck, bend those elbows in, lay flat on the floor, untuck those feet, press up, cobra, elbows pulling in, stretch the front body skin, and release. So tuck those toes, send those hips back, downward dog. After all, that downward dog really does feel like a little more of a restful pose than it did in the beginning, at least for me. Take a breath. On your next inhale, you can gaze forward. If you'd like to try jumping like a frog, literally like think of frog legs lifting up. You can jump to the front of your mat or walk to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, release down to the floor. Your next inhale, bend those knees, reach those arms up, up, up. Palms come together. We're gonna go right into it. Just keep that flow. Heart leading, drop down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Watch if your neck has just gotten a little crunched. And release. You're gonna plant those palms down. You can try to hop those legs back. I'm gonna try. I don't usually do it. Or just step them back. Okay, that's about okay. I was expecting to like knee myself in the mouth, which I have done. It's beautiful. Yoga's a beautiful thing. Hang out in your plank for a moment. Drop your knees and lift your knees. Drop your knees and lift your knees. One more time. Drop your knees, engage your core, lift your knees. Right palm touches right shoulder, bring it down. Left palm to right shoulder, bring it down. Shift forward, chaturanga. Well done. Untuck those toes, press on up. Deep breath. On your exhale, release. Tucking those toes, moving into our downward facing dog. Whew. Let's just take a moment to rest. Knees come down, open those knees up. You can move into a child's pose. You can move into any pose that feels good. I'm gonna do a sort of an action child's pose. Really dynamic stretches here. Because when I'm too still, my muscles actually cool down and then they get a little tight. All right, here we go. Come on back to our tabletop. And we're just gonna move into our downward dog. We're gonna repeat the same thing on our left side. So inhale your left foot. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Kind of lunge forward, arching through, doming through that spine. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Be patient with yourself. Be nice. Send it back. Exhale, knee to nose, really creating a dome shape. And we're gonna try to send that knee right between our hands. It might take a couple of hops. I'm gonna pivot so you can see me. So left leg is in between hands. You're in a high lunge here. You may drop your knee. Wherever you are, you're gonna walk up onto that thigh and get tall. Shoulders melt down your spine. Find your midline. Have you lost engagement with your tailbone? You don't have to pull it in, but can you gently say, hey, I see you out there. If you get too far out there, I'm gonna rein you in a smidge more. Shoulder blades. Chin comes slightly in. Find that center. Compact center. Excellent. Now think of drawing your legs together. They don't move that much, but your back hip is gonna try to move to be in line with your front hip, wherever you are in your lunge. Option to send those hands up. Palms can come together. Come past prayer as a little nod to our center. We're gonna peel to the left side at our, oh my goodness, I'm scrambling my words today. At our navel, hook our right elbow to our left knee, and press those palms together so one arm isn't hitting one shoulder. You want your hands to be making it towards your midline. They're not there exactly, that's okay. And open your palms if you'd like. Some people just prefer it. Think of twisting at that navel to open your heart, open heart, open heart. And unwind. Hands can come back to prayer. Whew. Fingertips can touch down. Well done. All right, now we're gonna move into our warrior two. So if you are on your knee, you can lift it up. We're gonna clamp that back foot. Whoosh, swing our arms up. Let's take an alignment check. So knee right over ankle. You can see that second toe. Your knee hasn't, your knee should be in line with the second toe actually. So if you wanna pretend your hand is a ruler and see, yeah, my knee's right over it. Energize through that pinky toe in the back leg. Foot is turned in or maybe a little bit more than in. That's just a preference thing, whatever's more comfortable. Inhale, strong arms. Make that torso in line, that mid line, that imaginary chakra energy line, whatever you want to think of it. So you're not leaning forward or back. Inhale, stand strong. Exhale, stay strong. Inhale, energize. Exhale, back bend. So your right arm either drapes your back knee or supports your lower back. Side stretch up your left side body. Come back. Left forearm to thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Right pinky toe is in a lovely diagonal with your pinky finger above. Open your heart. Very nice. Unwind. Sink the lowest you can in your warrior two and then come on up. Whew. Toes facing the front. Now here's where we're going to want to keep our ankles as wide as our hands. Turn the left toes forward. Send the hips back in space. So now our midline is all sorts of scrambled, but I think of it more as our midline has now changed direction. So think of your back toe sending energy up through your torso and out through the crown of your head. Very nice. And drop into our triangle. Actually, don't drop. Move with grace into our triangle. You're in control of every movement, even when gravity was there to help you down. The left hand can come anywhere is comfortable, but really think of someone very gently pulling your top hand up, as if you're reaching for someone's hand, and they're gently lifting you, not so much that you stand, but that maybe your bottom hand, there's less pressure in it, or maybe you can lift it off the ground completely. Excellent. Bend that front knee, come on back. Now we're gonna move into that half moon on our left side. Ardha Chandrasana, perhaps it's called. Don't fact check me on that. So we're gonna bend our front leg, right hand on the hips. If you wanna go right into it, go for it. Hand on your thigh. We're gonna walk that back leg in. And you're gonna come familiar with the ground. Touch those fingers, your left hand down to the ground, and begin to shift your weight into that front leg, really feeling your hand is the kickstand, your front leg is the support. Keep a bend in that front leg. Maybe with a flex foot, you can lift that back leg off the ground. Maybe you can play around with height. Maybe you can open your heart more. Good, and find a spot that you can play with. Whoop, there she goes. We're gonna hold it for 3, 2, 1, and even though we're done, move with ease. Come on back. Oh, hip kind of wasn't happy with, no, don't like that pose. And come on back into our warrior two. That's what we call an edge pose. If you have a pose you just do not like, I encourage you to go there and spend some time there and really figure out, like, why don't you like it? I have a lot of reasons. I'm not a balancer, so it just reinforces the fact that I'm not a natural balancer and I don't like feeling that way. Straighten that front leg, because I've been talking a lot. Give yourself a rest. Turn both toes to the front, hands on our hips. You're gonna bend your knees. We're gonna lean slightly to the right, creating a diagonal from our left pinky to our right toe, our right head. Left pinky to our head. I don't know what my right or left head is, but I'm really breaking into the hemispheres here. Come on back to center, inhale tall. Exhale, keeping a little bend in your knees, stretch to the left. You can look up at the ceiling. Wonderful. Come on back. Right hand reaches over your head ever so gently. Pulls your head into a little stretch. So that's my right hand. Your left hand presses down as if it's reaching towards the floor. Carefully release, as if you're dancing. Just like some kickboxing class the other day, and everything the like leader did was like so graceful, and then she like kickboxed, and I was very impressed. Same thing on the other side, pressing down through that right hand, giving some gentle weight to the neck. Come on back, hands on your hips. You might know where we're going. Inhale, halfway lift in our wide-legged stance. And whenever you're ready, bow down as far as you feel comfortable. You can bend your knees and bring a gentle sway in, or just hang out wherever your fold has taken you. If you like a more stationary position, go for it. Otherwise, play around. If you have headstand in your practice, this is a nice way to get into it. Headstand, you would open your legs as wide as you can. Well, don't worry about that. There's a bunch of ways to get into it. That's probably now's not probably the time. But if you do have headstand in your practice, you can play around here. Otherwise, if you want to just play around and try for the headstand, open your legs as wide as you can and see if you can open them so wide that the crown of your head comes to the ground, and just play with a little rocking back and forth, pressing your crown of your head to the floor and releasing, keeping your hands there to support most of the weight. Excellent. Whew. So your hands are going to come back to your hips. Bend your knees. Come on back to standing. You're going to bring those legs back together, however feels good. And we're going to move right along into our next standing leg lift balance sequence. I'm going to like patent this term, standing leg lift sequence balance. All right, we're going to start with lifting our right leg, grounding through the left. So if you want to kind of shift your weight, tucking that tailbone, shoulders are back, chin slightly dipped in. The head is heavy, so a slight lean either way can throw off the balance. Lifting up the toes of the left foot, spreading them out, really grounding through that leg. I'm going to face this way so you can just see what I'm doing. Your right leg is going to peel off the ground. You just want to keep a nice flex. Keep your posture. Hands can be wherever you feel stable. And this might be a good spot. We'd like to add a little more of a stretch, because right now you're using your muscles to keep your legs up. So if you want to stay here, you are definitely getting a lot of toning in the upper leg muscles. If you want more of a stretch, you can reach those hands over to your shin. Begin to hug it in. Try not to let the knee fall out of alignment. So keeping it right, keeping it straight. So you don't want it opening. I'll be quiet so we can balance. Take a moment. Keeping a micro bend in that left leg. Oh, man. All right. Then, if you're comfortable here, you can extend your left arm out and your right leg out. Trying your best not to round that spine to make the letter C or an inverted C. Trying to keep everything tall. Flexing through that foot. You can give a thumbs up with that left hand. Take a breath. You might even lower the gaze. Some can close their eyes. Slowly bring the knee back to front. One final hug in. And as measured as you can, lower it back down. One of the most amazing things, you can shake it out. Amazing things I love about watching ballet is, they'll be on their point shoes and they'll finish a position, but they don't just like come off their point. They have little muscles in their feet control the landing so much that they don't even look like they make contact with the floor. It's so smooth, and it's so much strength and control. So even when gravity could do it, we're gonna do it ourselves. Right. Inhale, ground through that right leg. Feel the mounds on your feet making contact with the floor. Balancing is easier on a hard surface if you want to step off your mat. Web out the toes. Begin to lift that left leg. Flexing that toe. Tucking your tailbone. Opening your shoulders, gently dropping your chin. You may want to stay here. Take a breath. You may want to bring more of a stretch. If so, carefully grab towards your shin, pull it in, give it a little hug. We call it a dristi in yoga, looking at something in the distance to keep your balance. So you're kind of just looking at something out there, something that's not moving. And then I'm looking at myself, so I'm moving a lot. And we're gonna open that left knee out to the side, right arm as a counterbalance. Trying to squeeze that torso so it's still up and down, not trying to make a letter C. It's okay if we do, but the effort is energizing it all up towards our midline. Keep breathing. Now we're gonna unwind, bring that knee back to front. One final hug. And deliberately, as if I could say, lift your knee again, and you could. Bring it back down, shake it out. Well done, my friends. Excellent. All right, so we're gonna come back to the top of our mat. We're gonna reach your arms up for our flow, forward fold. We're gonna hang in our forward fold for a moment. Because a lot of time balancing, it requires a lot of strength in our lower leg muscles on the supporting leg. This is just to give it a little love. You're gonna bend your knees, make little fists, and send a little massage around your ankles and up your calves. And then we're gonna raise up, give the front and back upper thighs a nice little massage. Don't forget your glutes, they do a lot of work. Good, we're gonna move to our lower back. Careful here. And just give a couple little more circles before we make our way back down our legs. And down the lower legs. And a gentle release. Halfway lift. Lengthen through that spine. Nice and slowly forward fold. We're gonna plant our hands. Step right leg back, left leg back, high plank. Inhale, lift your right leg just off the ground. Exhale, lower it back. Inhale, left just off the ground. Exhale, return one more each side. You can do it. Inhale, right leg. And down. Inhale, left leg. And down. Drop those knees. Send your heart forward. Flatten into our chaturanga. Untuck those feet. And just have a rest. Hands can come to your sides. So if you're on one cheek, just reverse your head so it's on the other cheek. Excellent. And move into a higher cobra. So hands are going to come towards your lower ribs, elbows tucking in. Just going to peel off as high as you can without dumping into your lower back. And how we do that? That's right, we pull our belly button towards our spine so our abs are doing most of the work. It might mean we don't get as far back, and that's how we protect our back. Shoulders open, hearts open, take a breath. And melt back down. We're gonna come onto our back, and how we're gonna do so is moving through our tabletop, crossing those legs behind us, and sending our booties right through it. Excellent job. All right, now I did say we're doing a little bit of core as well, which we have been doing all along, but this one is going to be focused particularly on the core. So don't worry so much about like, what are my feet doing? You know, are my feet pointed? Whatever feels like you're getting some activation in your core, you're doing it right. So we're going to bring our hands to our shins and just pull ourselves into a nice tall position. We're going to send our hands back, and keeping that length, we're going to tilt slightly back so we didn't collapse. You're going to lift one foot, point or flex, and then the other. Good. You may want to bring your arms here too. Some people really like to stretch them out. I don't. Whew. Good. I'm going to sit here for 3, 2, but don't give up yet. 1. Our arms are going to come up and serve something on the right while our knees drip to the left. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, knees come to right, hands come to left. Up. Exhale, knees to left, hands to right, palms up. Inhale, up, and now we're going to come back to center, turn our palms down, and we're going to do something called, I think it's the Jean-Jacques bounce, the person who made the playlist. He does this funny song, and you bop. You basically do what we just did, but in little hops. Good, so your hands will slowly come to the right, knees left, and reverse. As we do it, you might want to drop your back a little further down to the ground, so you're a little flatter. Good, and come back to the middle. We're almost there. Inhale, tall. Exhale, slowly release, not all the way. Just extend, inhale, come back in. And extend, lower back to the floor. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And then on the count of 5, lower all the way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. And release. Well done, well done, well done. That was just a little power yoga. And guess what? We're now on part B, so extend both toes, both feet, pointing up to the ceiling, flex feet, right leg comes up. Arms are going to reach like you're trying to take off your stocking or something. You're going to do 10 on each side. 1, push, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, maybe we should have only done 5. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower down, give yourself a stretch. Reset, exhale, left leg comes up nice and flexed. Doesn't have to be straight and doesn't have to be high. And ready, we're gonna push away from our knees with our hands. Here we are, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost there, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower down, give yourself a stretch. Let's bring in those knees. You can give them a little hug. Rock that spine. Back and forth, or side to side. Very nice. In core, apart from being a powerhouse for us, moving with better posture and being in touch with where our strength comes from, our core is just a lovely reminder of being aware of where that center is. When we say, okay, where's your center, where's your middle, find your core, it's like, what is even my core? But when we work it, we know very well where it is. So it's almost also an awareness reminder. My friends, we've made it to the floor. If you would like to sort of dim the lights, if you have that option, or close a blind, you can. We're going to do a little stretch before our final rest. So if you're on your back still, you're gonna bend that right knee and give it a little hug. And give it a couple rocks. So you pull it in, then gently release. Pull it in towards your shoulder, gently release. Move slowly, just see if this stretches any part of your legs or lower back. Then we're gonna keep our right knee just below our right knee in our right hand, and we're gonna open that knee, kind of like we did in our standing pose. Our knee is gonna drop out to the side. Hope you can see me. There you go. And you're gonna gently pull that knee towards your armpit, but nice and open this time, flex. There's no really wrong way to do this, so do what feels right. You're gonna bring the knee past your center. You're gonna switch hands. Your left hand is gonna grab onto the outside of that shin. Right hand is gonna fall out to the side. And you're gonna drop that right knee over the left side. Knee does not come to the floor unless you really need that deep twist. We're actually gonna keep our muscles activated here, so don't let it fall completely. And you're just gently guiding that knee out and up, towards that left shoulder. Excellent, bring it on back to center and gently send it back down to meet its twin On the other side, point and flex your feet. Bring your feet into little circles right and left. Wonderful. We're going to repeat the same thing on our left. So flexing both feet, hugging in that left side, really letting it get into that sort of like juicy area where you feel the compression, but you can let it go at any point. You can give it gentle hugs and releases. And using our left hand to guide our knee slightly to the left side. Right hand just falls out to the side. You're going to gently hug that knee in towards your shoulder, but keeping your hips open. And sending it past the midline. Your right hand is going to take over from here. The left hand drops out to the side. Guide that knee over to the right side. Again, we're not trying to guide it so much that we go into our twist, unless you'd like to give it that twist to really get fully twisted in the end of today's practice. Otherwise, we're just going to hover just above the ground. And we're getting our outer left glute activated here. Your head can fall to either side, doesn't matter. Take one final breath here. Send it back to center. Just carefully guide it to meet your other foot. Once there, pointing and flexing your feet. We're going to move into our final hip opener of the day. You're going to very carefully bring your knees up and cross your ankles. And we're going to make our way up into a very gentle sitting position. I will face you. You're going to stack your knees one on top of the other. As if you're sitting crisscross applesauce, but you went a little further. You can keep your legs as close to your body or as far out as you'd like. Inhale, tall spine. And exhale, 3 little circles in one direction. They can get bigger as you go. 3 or 4, however you fit until I finish talking. When you get to the top, bring your circles in the other direction. Do one more circle that way. We're going to extend our legs carefully, give them a little shake, and stack the other one on top now. You can play with how close or how far away your feet are from each other. Inhale to get tall. Exhale, begin to make little circles from your hips. They can get bigger or deeper. And notice where you might feel your hips, where they are protesting or where they're saying, yes, that feels good. Maybe playing with speed. If something hurts, going a little slower and approaching it a little more cautiously. Next time you get to the top, change directions. Good. One more. And when you get to the top, sit up nice and tall. Here, you can just roll back, uncross your legs. Begin to stack up with any pillows or blankets that make you feel good in this moment. So I will bring back my treacherous pillows. Those of you who know how to make kind of a homemade heart bench, you can stack your pillows, sort of fold yourself over them, really opening up into this passive stretch, opening your heart. I find it particularly soothing to have a pillow underneath my knees as well. And I did have a lovely green shawl before. I think I'd like to wear that too. So just letting out any last minute scratches or little fidgets, anything you need to do, any last minute poses. We're going to find our way into a reclined Shavasana here. Let's take a moment to start increasing the length of your breath. Letting your feet just fall open. Letting your eyebrows relax. Your jaw, let that melt down, maybe open. Even the back of your throat. We carry tension in our bodies, everywhere in our bodies. Letting your eyes close as we begin to turn inward. Imagining our bodies humming with the energy we just created. A pleasant, protective humming of energy. Letting your breath just relax and become a part of your restful meditation here. Let the breath join the body again. And you move as one. And here I invite you to explore that sense of awareness again. What are you aware of right now? What would you like to bring your awareness to? Maybe you'd like to be more aware of the breath. Or maybe you'd like to be aware of parts of your body that feel differently than they did before. That awareness that was all around our bodies, that let our bodies move in the ways we did and do so safely. That awareness is going to come back inside of us now. It's going to come back home where it lives inside of you. You can breathe just to signal, just to let it know that you appreciate it. The sense of awareness that keeps us so safe and so ready. Let that also rest now too. Let that awareness relax. For a couple of moments, just be all together as one. Ever so gently, as if you're waking a little child or a little pet from its sleep, just take a deep breath. Gentle signal that it's time to bring some energy back in to our bodies. Begin to press the fingertips together and wiggle your toes. You can even so slowly bring your arms above your head and stretch. You're welcome always to stay in your Shavasana, If you'd like a little more active wake up, you can roll over onto your favorite side. Be careful if you have any pillows. You can even bring them in. You're just tucking your knees in, one final little hug. With your eyes still closed, gently press yourself up to a comfortable sitting position. Your hands can rest on your legs, or you can bring them to prayer. Once again, as a little nod to our center. A couple of deep breaths here. It's so interesting how we spend so much time today on our center when it's sort of the imbalance and asymmetry of our bodies and our spirits that make us dynamic human beings. But having a place to go to where things feel balanced and where things feel equal, it's helpful for our bodies, but also for our emotions and our minds to know that there is a place that we can go through our breath, through our yoga, through our movement that is level. And even if we want to just take a dip there, or if we want to spend all day, it's there. It's there for us. So inhale, bringing your palms towards your forehead, towards that third eye. And exhale, you can choose to bow forward if you like. And bow signals the end of class. It signals me honoring you for coming to class, you honoring each other, sharing in the stillness and the movement. For namaste, for those who like that to signal the end of class. And always, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good experience, and if not, of course, send me any suggestions or anything you want. Just send it my way, and I'll be happy to incorporate it into our next practice together. So thank you so much for your participation and for being a part of this, and we'll hopefully see you on Wednesday for our next one together. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.